I've got the mayor sent me a card after Red Hill Rising. Just leave him there. It's a bit like giving someone a free gift. It's like I want to do something that's that's so like the arts people in the council and the people looking after children and well-being of the towns and so on. You're like, here's a gift for you. You don't have to do really any work. I want to do the work. It would be great if you can give me some support in terms of promoting it, getting the schools on board, a bit of money, but I'll do all the rest with my team. So the councils are like, well, that's great. It's like a free gift, isn't it? These become my absolute mainstay workwear. So we designed these T-shirts for each project. So Red Hill Rising came first. Probably going to need to hang these at the same time. That's going to go nice and wonky. So I've got the Franklin Music logo, which is the. I'm surprised I haven't got it really visible somewhere. There, yeah, there's one there. So the Franklin Music logo, which is the F-shaped piano keys inside a circle with the wings. And what's been great is as Franklin Music has settled in and these projects have developed, I just thought when we did Red Hill Rising, I was like, wouldn't it be great? I want Red Hill to have the ownership of the project, so I didn't want the Franklin Music logo. So I spoke to Andy who designs our website and designed the logo for me, and said to him, well, what I'd really like is the Franklin Music logo here, just adapted. And then we came up, I said to him, I think like it's got to be Red Hill's all about the railways, so that's, and he comes up with like 3 designs, and then we chose this one, so that's the Red Hill Rising logo. And then even before we secured the race course for Epsom Rising, you'll see the horse there, that was already in my head for what would be the right image for Epsom Rising. So yeah, we've got the horse now there for Epsom Rising, which is brilliant. So, but what happens is that in the performance, every single participant gets one of their Rising T-shirts, which makes for this like wall of matching like children and adults and so on. So it's part of the whole thing, and of course we've got this marvellous treats that are connected with Epsom Rising. So when people go to the Derby after the event, then if they wear their Epsom Rising T-shirt, then they'll get some kind of free gift at the racecourse, which is not a bad thing. I don't know what it would be, maybe some ice cream or something delightful. So yeah, it's not just a T-shirt, it's also for safeguarding. It's also for safeguarding, so that because we perform in public spaces, the children are really identifiable as being part of this project. So that's it's just a very practical consideration as well. I thought that when we were in the Belfry last year, we need to know who's part of this project, before we whisk away a child who's just on a sick day and has had to go to town with its mother. We don't want to scoop up the wrong children or have any of our children scooped up. So yeah, it's the image, but it's also got a practical side to it.
And how much are the T-shirts, and where do people get the T-shirts? It comes with the whole package, does it? So I'm just kind of thinking, if I'm a school now and I want to get involved, how?
This is part of the fundraising. So wherever possible, we want the project to cost nothing to families. So the school's made a very small contribution towards the workshops, and we managed to find local sponsors to cover most of the cost of the T-shirts. I think it's in the region of £250 to sponsor a class, and that covers their T-shirts and makes a small contribution to their workshop. And most schools have 2-form intake, so to sponsor a whole school is £500, and that covers their T-shirts. And Franklin Music, we also cover some of the cost of, or absorb, should we say, some of the cost of the workshops, and the rest comes in with their sponsorship package. So if you've got particular schools where you're like, oh, my child goes to whatever school it is, then you could tailor your sponsorship directly towards them. There's different threads of it. So we want schools to sign up. There is no project if we don't have the children. That's at the absolute core. So the Include Choir are already heavily invested in the project and really as project partners with us. So the Include Choir Red Hill will be doing the Red Hill Rising performance, and Include Choir Epsom will be doing Epsom Rising. But as the project expands, which I think is going to be the natural way the project develops, there'll be different inclusive choirs that we can use around the country. So that if you're interested in that and you've got some sort of inclusive choir, then we want to hear from you and see how we can work together. So for someone encountering Rising Project for the first time, it's about capturing the place, so the town that you're in, its history, the community, embedding diversity and communication, inclusion, all into, at the core of it, into a song. So I do lots of research into the area, go exploring the area, and then I write a song that captures how a town was built, the people that came here, the transport, the important businesses, like what the ethos is, what the geography is of a place. So I capture that into the song.
Thank you. Okay.
A Rising Project is a project that defines a town, and it defines a town through song, and it defines a town through communication, through its history, and through its potential to what it can be in the future, which is delivered through schools, workshops, and through a mass public performance in a public area in that town for children, for local choirs, and for people with learning disabilities, special needs, diversity. We come together in this mass celebratory performance. The idea began, it had its birth in projects that I've done with Merton Music Foundation and with Pete Churchill, who was my mentor at the Royal Academy of Music, and we would do these large-scale projects at the Royal Albert Hall. And I thought, can I take that kind of ethos and bring it to my hometown? So it started over a conversation with a conversation on the telephone with Kay from the council, where I told her about these projects that I'd done before, and I was like, it'd be great if we could bring something like that to Red Hill. And the seed was sown. Bringing history in through music. It's not just music, it's about the workshops, and it's the movement, and it's the connection. So children then make a physical connection with the history rather than just being told something. They embody it. So, and through learning the song, they have to get inside the lyrics. And this is where the workshops are so critical, because it's not just like, here's a song, go and learn it. It's like, here's a song, let's unpack those verses. Who were these people who came to the town? Who were the people who walked these paths? Who built those buildings? Who created the railways? Who were they? Let's get inside that. And then critically, who are you? You know, you are the community, you are the history of the future. So what are you doing? What are your parents doing? What do you see around you? And what do you hope to do in the future? So the music is what ties that together, and it makes it fun. And learning the Makaton signing, it's all, it's not a dry workshop about communication. It's like, it's embedded in the very energy of the project. What's great about composing songs bespoke for this project is that, for one, the children are intrinsically connected with it, because they know that I've sat down and I've taken the environment that they know and love and put it into this song. So I think children really appreciate that reflection on where they live and what they do and what they see and what they experience. So it's not just, oh, here's a song about history. It's like, here's something about the very streets that you walk upon, the places that you grow up. So they feel ownership. It's not something that's handed to them, it's something that's gifted to them about their lived experience. The whole thing about working with Include is what's given the project the kind of gravity that I wanted it to have. There's so many different big sing projects and singing projects where children can get involved, but I've focused a lot over the years. Most of the songwriting that I've done has been to tell a story, and I've become very aware over time that there's so many stories and hidden histories that are not brought to the fore. And a big part of this is the history of learning disabilities and histories of diversity. You know, there's so many things that we hear in the news and popular media, and having Include at the core of this project means that we could make the communication part of the whole learning process. So it's not an add-on, it's not like, oh, and now we're going to do this. When the children learn the project, the communication, the Makaton signing is absolutely at its core. Having Include at the forefront of this project was so critical to what the message that the project is trying to bring, which is that the communication needs and the diversity that you have in a town should be represented in this song that's part of the town and that is gifted to the town. So when the children learn the song, having the Makaton signing within it is absolutely critical. It's not something we pop on later. Just pull out my hair. Bit of Red Hill Rising probably with, can I put that up now?
Yeah.
A little bit of the Red Hill Rising with, so, well, I've got loads of these actually. You see these, this is my composing archive. So I've always used these books for songwriting for years and years. So there's sketches in there and little ideas for music. Don't know what that one is, but oh yeah, I do know what that is. So these are different pieces of music that I've written for albums. I used to have a big band, the Spike Orchestra, which was brilliant. And then some little sketches for piano, things for choirs. I did a punk jazz album once, not that long ago. You'd think, oh, that's something from your youth. Yeah, so I've got loads of these books from all the various things that I've written. Yeah, that's the original Spike Orchestra. Loads of things in there.
So then this is how it happens, does it? You just start at the piano with your workbook, or you...
I start in my head. So whenever I've got to write something particularly for a commission, it needs to settle in. I need to know what I'm trying to compose. So by the time I get to the piano, the piece, I wouldn't say it's fully formed, but I certainly know how the thematic ideas will be. So these often come when I'm walking. I walk an awful lot, and suddenly my head goes, there's a theme and that's what I want to do, and then I will dash home and then I'll get on the piano. So that's what happened with Epsom Rising. I knew that I had a song to write this year for this project, and I knew as soon as we had confirmation from the race course that that's where it was going to be, now I know that I need this expansive piece of music to fill the space where it's going to be. So so then I start thinking in those terms. It's also really important to me that these are not children's songs. They're they're substantial. Well, the Epsom Rising is going to be kind of like a rock song. So I don't write down for children in any way. It's like the children, they hear all these amazing like pop songs and rock songs. This is what they're surrounded by. So this is like high energy songs. So the Epsom Rising, actually what came first was the idea of it opening with this big I'm seeing like the downs, the view, what the children are going to be saying. So we'll have this big choir of children singing. So it goes around, and then the drums come in, and you've got this feeling of, oh, something's happening. It's that analogy of like the horses being at the gate, ready to run. But then I start with the story. Before the crowds, before the cheers, an ancient highway crossed the hills. Bells rang out across the land as the ancient story first began. A summer drought had cracked the earth, yet on the common there emerged a bitter spring. So that's how the verses work, and the verses will be for soloists. So it's imagining how children are going to sing those, and they might double up, and there'll be 2 to 4 of them singing together to get that, and these nice sort of flowing lines, which would be great for kids. But the thing that actually, so that opening, and there's a lot of heritage of that in British rock music. I didn't make that up, but that environment, I think, is perfect for that. And then I was thinking about the Makaton signing. We've got this sign for Rising, which I really wanted the chorus for the Epsom one to start with that same Makaton sign. And I thought a call and response would be really great for that. So one half of the choir was singing, "We rise, we stand, we grow, unite, we call, we flow." And then people would come together and go as one. Which would be split in harmony as well. And then you've got the response section. So you've got half the people doing that, and then the response is, so we rise like the sun with certainty, we stand at the gate ready to be free, we grow from the earth where roots run deep, unite side by side, making history, we call, can you hear us loud and clear, we flow like the spring that brought us here. So you've got that division between the choirs, which I think will be really effective in that space. Also great for teaching in the workshops. Loads of fun for kids to swap around. Sometimes you do the call, sometimes you do the response, and again with the Makaton signs that will go with that. I also wanted to capture these really important figures in the history of Epsom. So we've got a lot about the development of the town in the song, the discovery of the spring and these bitter magnesium laden spring waters. And the story of the Derby comes into the song, but then you've got these 2 really important figures. There was a chap called Livingston who was an apothecary around the 1700s, who really promoted these wells, these waters as being healing. So he changed the whole way. He put Epsom on the map, basically. He was a really important figure. And then we've got Emily Wilding Davison, the suffragette who threw herself in front of the King's horse in the name of suffrage, which was in the 1920s. So, but rather than creating lists of names, because we're going into the schools to teach these, I can talk about these people in the workshops. The third element is the Horton cluster, which is one of the most significant developments of special needs institutions, connected with the Red Hill Rising, where we've got the Earlswood Asylum, where we have the Earlswood Asylum in Red Hill, the Epsom sort of sister asylum, which was the word that was used in those days, is the Horton cluster. And this was one of the first places where people with special needs were not just treated as people that needed to be locked away, but also developing, bringing them into the community. So the Middle Eight is about these important elements and these important people in Epsom. So it's every heart that chose to care, really relating to the Horton cluster, Every heart that chose to care, which relates to the Horton cluster, the nurses and the doctors and the people that have worked in that caring community. Every voice that stood for justice, which is Emily Davison, standing up for the suffragettes. Every hand that reached to hold changed the place that we see now. So it's to do with this heritage and the people that moved Epsom from what it was to this thriving market town. And this is going to be a moment in the song where the choir sing in unison. This is the unison sign. When you want your choir to sing in unison, you do that. There's harmony, there's unison. So we've had all of this call and response, and then they come bang into this unison middle eight. So this is the middle eight, where everyone comes in unison for this like powerful moment, talking about the people that have shaped the town of Epsom, what they've done to create this thriving town that we have now. So it's really big. Every heart that chose to care, every voice that stood for justice, every hand that reached to hold, shaped the place where we stood now. And then it goes back to that. We rise. And we go into the chorus.
So good.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? We're rising to a better place. Yeah, it was so great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know when you have, you imagine something, it's like with songwriting really. I knew this is what I imagined. It came out exactly, because I spent so long preparing it in my head, and I had to constantly tell other people, no, it's going to be like this, and the children will be here, and then the sound will be here, and this is so I think consequently when we came to the actual performance, it was exactly how I wanted it to be, because I'd had to communicate that with every different person along the way. So but it still makes me cry now. Well, these were the brave schools. These were the schools that went, but do you know what? We're going to get on board, even though we can't see what it is that you've done. So next year is going to be easier. So we had St John's School, we had Lime Tree School, we had Earlswood School, and the secondary school was St Bede's. So it was mainly children from year 5 and 6, and then St Bede's Junior Choir, which is from years 7 till 9, also came along and supported it. So so we had 199 children, let me say it again. So we had 199 children singing and signing, importantly. The Include Choir was about 20 people plus their support workers. We had about 30 people in Franklin Music from the Franklin Voices Choir, plus all of the teachers and helpers. So there was nearly 300 people involved in the performance one way or another, which was exceptional. And it's only going to be bigger next year. Seeing the performance come together, because of using the public space, we've got all these children coming from different schools. We couldn't do a full schools rehearsal. That would have been crazy. So the way that it all flowed on the day, thanks to my wonderful volunteers, thanks to the staff at the Belfry, and for people really listening, I had such a clear vision of how I wanted it to be. And in fact, I sent out a video to everyone going, right, and the children will walk in here and everyone will go there. We had our team meeting in the morning, and do you know what? It just, it went like clockwork. It was absolutely brilliant. The children getting into space, and then that moment where it's like, and now go. And here we are, and the children are there, and I do this sign for when the children need to stand, and we practice this in the workshop. It's like, stand silently. And that moment when they stand up, and then it still gives me goosebumps now. And there they are, we're ready, and here goes the song, and there's my soloist, and then when we did that, the first chorus, and all these people everywhere I can see is Makaton signing. Yeah, it still makes me want to cry now. So it was so successful. Well done to everyone that was involved. It was brilliant. The great thing about the performance spaces that we're using for the Rising project is that they're just there in the heart of the community. So particularly in the Belfry, there was one lady who spoke to one of my team afterwards, and she was like, I just came to do a bit of shopping, and then there's this amazing thing going on, which is like a little gift, isn't it? So having the mums and dads there, and family members, and so the people from the shop workers, coming out and looking and being included. It was really brilliant, and we'd got the mayor and other sort of invited dignitaries sitting and watching down at the bottom of the escalators. So it really did feel like a celebration of community, a celebration of the space of the Belfry Centre, which is the heart of town. So it was quite something. What's great about the Rising project, which was only called Red Hill Rising until after we'd finished that first performance, it was so joyful and so inclusive and so successful, I think it's fair to say, that I definitely wanted to replicate this in other areas. And I've got 5 towns locally flagged straight away who've got these really interesting histories. And so because now that I've got something tangible that I can share, I can start to now go to these other places and say, right, I'd love to do a Rising project for your town. So the next place that we're going to in 2027 is Epsom. And so Epsom Rising was born. I say it as if it's a given conclusion. In my head, I can see this project popping up in towns all over the country because it's so bespoke, but also has the continuing threads that run through every single project. Imagine unearthing these histories, working with local historical societies, working with children, working with the environment. What have we got about this place that's interesting? Taking that to the children, writing their bespoke song, the Makaton signing that will be unique with each project. I can really see this really travelling around the country, and it's like little gifts that we can give to the different towns and the different communities across the UK. So I think it's really got potential to do that. I just need to expand my team, but I know some wonderful people right across the UK who I know would really honour the ethos of the project and would really get on board and deliver something really special. Yeah, so the idea of the project is that it goes beyond the schools themselves. We obviously have these school workshops and performance at the core of this, but what's already been proven in Redhill, for example, in September, we've got the People's Choir. So we've put a shout out on social media to say anyone that wants to come and experience the Redhill Rising song, download the materials, have a look on YouTube, learn the chorus, get involved in any way you can. When we go into Epsom and other places, I'm also looking for local choirs who can champion the song, who can be at the heart of those performances alongside the school children. I would love to see the project develop so that British Sign Language is involved in future performances. If there's any things that I haven't thought of where it's like, oh, this would be great in this particular town, maybe there's an area, an element of the community that really needs capturing. So I'd be really delighted to work with local people on any capacity to see how we can evolve the project to make sure that it really does have that inclusivity at its heart. So what we're going to do this year is we're also going to bring in objects of reference. So this is something that's very, very important for inclusivity and something that Include Choir do for all of their songs. They have a physical object of reference which is tied to the song. So this year's project will start to bring that in. We intend to launch that as a competition, so children will design an object of reference for the town that they're in, and maybe then we'll have two or three of these physical objects which are then used in performances and can be shared with can be shared as part of the project. Well, we want the children to create three-dimensional models of something that's. If you think of the logos. So for Epsom, we've got the horse in the centre. You know, it might be that children create a small horse that could be brought in. But there'll be other things. If you think of the wells or the water, the springs, and I'm sure there's loads of things that I couldn't even think of. So something that's quite a simple reference, tangible product that could be made out of wood or out of clay, could even be 3D printed, that then can be carried. So something that's hand size, carryable, but significant as a representation of the town. The Include Choir use them for every song, so I think that it's also following the lead of what Include recommend with these communication tools. So this was their idea, and we're definitely looking at embedding that into the project. To host Epsom Rising at the racecourse really is a dream. But get involved in the Rising project. If you're a school, then get in touch with us directly. You can do that via our website. All the information is there. Particularly for this year, it's Redhill schools and it's Epsom schools. That can be, so the school workshops is for year 5s, but we're happy for secondary schools to come in and support maybe with their choirs. So the workshops are designed for younger children, but if you're a secondary school and you would like your choir to come and sing in the performance, then please get in touch. We'd love to welcome you. If you are a local choir, then you can have the song. The song is being commissioned for the project and for the community. So if you would like to learn the song, and then you're absolutely welcome to use it. You can perform it. So you'll be able to download the lyrics and the scores from the website, and you can get in touch if you need the backing tracks as well. we're going to take that out because I'm not offering the backing tracks. There's got to be something that they keep.
Yeah, okay,
so if you're a local choir and you want to use the song yourself to celebrate your town, then you'll be able to go onto our website and download the score, download the lyrics, and you can learn the song from the YouTube videos as well, if that's useful for you. And that's free of charge. It's a gift. Then we need volunteers, we need people for the day, so it's not just about the performers, it's about supporting the projects and bringing them to life. We desperately need sponsors. You can sponsor in all sorts of different ways. We've got a print company coming on board with Red Hill Rising who are printing some of the lyric sheets for us, or some of the banners that go with the project. Maybe that's something you can offer. Maybe you want to sponsor a school or a class. Every child, as we've talked about it, needs to wear one of their Rising t-shirts. That's not just for the imagery of the project, but it's also for safeguarding, so we know which children are involved. And it's also an ongoing gift, it's a legacy. These children will have their t-shirts and they'll go, oh, do you remember when I did that? So you can sponsor a class, or you can sponsor a whole school, and that sponsorship package includes their t-shirts, and it goes towards the school's workshop, so we can keep the cost as low as possible for the actual schools, making sure that cost isn't a barrier for young people to be involved in this project. And then there's obviously the larger costs of a project like this. Writing the song, the historical research, maintaining the website, the YouTube channels, so on and so forth, promoting the projects. We have community sponsors who will be recognised in our social media posts, who will be recognised on the website. We link our websites together. If you promote perhaps, for example, the making of this film, then so films like this, every single part of the project is documented within very careful GDPR guidelines, as I'm sure you can imagine, with children involved in particular. So every part of the project is going to be captured and documented, and that's shared through social media channels, through YouTube, through our website. That's got a global audience. So if you want to get your name behind this project, then please get in touch, and we'll share your branding, your website, all of that will be part of the sponsorship package that goes with the Rising project. So please get behind us, please get in touch and with ideas of ways that you can help us bring this project to as many communities as possible. People to support the projects on the ground. We need volunteers, people who would maybe help chaperone on the day, people to go out and talk about the project, to support us maybe when we're doing smaller community performances, to be there to talk to the community about what the projects are about, to do some leafleting, to even just to share things on social media. If you follow Franklin Music, you follow include.org, then you follow your local council as they start to talk about these projects, and share. It costs nothing to share. So you can also just get involved in those little ways that just cost you the click of a button, as you might imagine.
Okay, right, it's on the fingers there, so that's nice, yeah, rolling.